Hello and welcome to Sports Talk. I'm your host, Frank Noppenberger, and this is one of my favorite times of the year when I get to interview three of our outstanding student athletes. And believe me, they are outstanding student athletes. I'm going to start off with Julie Simoes. Julie's going to earn 4 letters in basketball before she graduates. She's got 3 letters already in soccer, and she maintains a 3.8 GPA. Congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
And then we have Kevin Hemmings, who's our starting quarterback this year for the Bears. He has a 3.9 GPA. And finally, certainly not least, is Jackie Giancola. Jackie's also got a 3.8. She'll have 4 letters in golf, and she'll have 8 or 9, depending on the winter season, in cheerleading. Congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
All right, to start off with, and we're going to start out with you, Kevin. Football season's upon us. I'm sure a lot of this recruiting stuff is going on, and you had a lot of things going on in your mind about where I'm going to go to school. Are you thinking about any particular school right now? And is anyone recruiting you, or where are we with that?
I've been talking to a few coaches from Moravian out in Bethlehem, and then up north in St. John Fisher, and not sure if I'm going to play yet. But
okay. And any type of major you're thinking of yet?
Pretty set on marketing.
Marketing, very good. And what made you get into marketing? What's your interest there?
I figured it'd be a good route to go into business of some sort, and that's
Good.
The one that seemed the most interesting.
Good. At least you have an idea what you think you want to do. Jackie, Notre Dame, we still number one?
That's still my number 1 pick. I'm also looking at Vanderbilt and University of Michigan. So any one of those would be ideal, but Notre Dame is still number 1.
And what do you think you major?
I think I'm going to major in vocal performance or film and television, because I would absolutely love to be in the entertainment industry one day.
Good, good. And Julia, what do you think?
I'm still looking around. I'm not going to play soccer. I'll probably play club, if anything. And I'm looking at James Madison University and University of Delaware. And for major, I'm probably going to do occupational therapy.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I'm sure you guys will all be successful in a few years, 5 years, 6 years. I'll be reading about you, I'm sure. First question I want to ask you, and unfortunately, Jackie, you may not be able to answer this, is the number you have on your jersey. What number is it, and why did you select that number? Which one of you guys want to go first?
Okay,
Julia?
well, I'll go first.
Sure.
My freshman year, I was handed 37 for the varsity jersey, and I kind of just stuck with it for the past 4 years. It wasn't my favorite number. My favorite number is 11, which is on my basketball jersey. But, I mean, I don't know, something about 37 kept me with it.
I think that's the Riccio number.
Yeah, that was her number.
That's a famous family in East Brunswick. Why 11 in baskets? Or
Well,
your favorite?
I've been number 11 for all of my travel teams.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, Mr. Quarterback, Kevin?
Well, sophomore year when it came time to ordering jerseys, a lot of numbers were taken by the upperclassmen.
Right.
So I basically got stuck with wearing number 3. But I came to like it.
It's a good number. It's a good quarterback number. Good.
But I think it was either my 8th or 9th choice of numbers that by the time I got to order a jersey, wasn't taken.
You don't have a number. However, what is your favorite number?
My favorite number actually is 3. So if I did play a sport that required me to have a number, I'd pick 3.
Good. Okay, how did you get involved? Let's start with you, Jackie. How did you get involved in cheerleading and then golf?
Well, cheerleading I've been doing all my life. Ever since I was little, my mom signed me up, and I've just stuck with it, and I tried really, really hard to make the varsity team as a freshman. And golf is a little bit weirder. I was in my cousin's backyard, and they were just swinging golf clubs, and I just decided maybe I should try it. And they were like, wow, you have such a good shot, take lessons. So I didn't really take any lessons, so I just tried out for the team. I took a few lessons here or there, and it ended up working out really well, and I noticed that I had a knack for it, and I trained really, really hard, and now our golf team is the best it's ever been. So.
Right. And you're like an all-star performer too, right? Aren't you like all division, things like that?
Yeah, I'm all area and all county.
Good. Keith? Kevin?
It's all right.
Kevin, it's going to happen all day, but it's going to happen all day.
I got started, I think it was the summer going into 2nd grade. I started playing St. Bart's Buffaloes football.
Quarterback your whole time?
I started as a lineman, actually.
Well, why wouldn't you want to stay as a tackle or a guard?
I lost some weight.
Oh.
But I moved around to, I think, pretty much every position on the field before coming as a quarterback in 7th grade, and I've had fun ever since. So.
Have you played any other sports growing up?
I had a short-lived basketball career, but besides that, Little League baseball.
Right. You have to play Little League baseball.
Everyone does.
Julie, you got basketball and you got Julia, basketball, soccer.
Yeah, I've been growing up watching my brothers play both sports, so I started soccer earlier than basketball, but I've been playing ever since I was younger.
2nd grade, like both of you guys?
For soccer, I started at like 5. I started
Right.
Superstars.
Mm-hmm.
And then for basketball, I started around like 3rd grade-ish in rec league.
Fast break.
Yeah, fast break.
Good. All right, now you guys are near the end of your season, the fall season. I want the audience to know what kind of preparation you have to get ready for the fall season, you know, from the end of the spring, summer. I'll start out with you, Kevin.
For us, it's as soon as the one season ends, we take about a week or 2 off and get right back in the weight room. It really doesn't stop. But
Give me your typical week in July or August.
it would be a weightlifting session in the morning, usually maybe 8 a.m. Then after that, I'll usually go out on the field with a few receivers and throw, maybe run some sprints. And then later at night, I'll go back to the gym with a few teammates and lift again.
Now, it sounds like a lot, but it is fun, right?
Oh yeah, I enjoy every second
Right.
of it.
Jackie, how do you prepared? Well, you played a lot of golf this summer.
Yes.
And how about for cheerleading? How do you prepare for that?
For cheerleading, we have preseason, so we are learning all the cheers from usually 3-hour practices, or sometimes we get a break in between 5-hour practices. So it is a lot, but it's so worth it and it's so much fun. And we have preseason starting in August, and once preseason is over, we break into our teams between varsity, JV, and freshmen, and we learn our own routines and get ready for the football games, which are always fun. And golf never ends, ever.
Mm-hmm.
The summer is actually the best time to play golf, so we try to take advantage of the good weather and get out on the course as much as we can.
Good. Julia, you got the soccer and the basketball. It's very challenging with
Yeah.
2 coaches that are in a good way demanding of your time, and especially your skill. Actually, you should be happy that they want you there as part of the team.
Well, for soccer, we start usually early July, and then for basketball, we started our summer league in June, and then we played through the whole summer, and then I stopped basketball once soccer tryouts start, and then right when soccer ends, I have tryouts for basketball.
And it's difficult because you got 2 distinct sports. One, you're using your feet all the time. The other
Yeah.
one, you're using your hands. You all have great GPAs, and I'm sure you're all taking challenging courses, honors. How do you balance it? Julie, how do you balance the academics, the athletics, and then being a typical high school kid?
Just work hard in class, try and learn everything like I can during the day. And then if I have questions, I ask my classmates, ask my teachers, maybe come in early sometimes or stay after and then go to practice after. But I just try and do my work on time and the best I can.
Kevin?
I think playing a sport helps me manage my time better because I know the schedule is the same every day. So I know as soon as I come home, it's time for homework and just
You get right to it.
get it all done.
All right, Kevin, now this is on tape, and you can't fib on this one. Your teacher says to you, Kevin, you got a solid B in this class. For you to get anything higher than a B, you got to get 100 on your test, on your final. And he's going to say, so you can be exempt if you want, or you can take it. What are you going to do?
I think my mom would be pretty upset if I didn't try. So I'd work as hard as I can, the hours that I had, and take the test.
Good for you. That's the competitiveness in you. How about you, young lady? How do you balance all that?
Well, obviously sports take up a lot of time, and I do a lot, and sports definitely have helped me with my time management. I feel so prepared to go to school and wherever I go because sports have helped me so much, and I know really how to manage my time. But I do try to stay after, and I talk to my coaches if I'm ever having problems in school. I always stay after, or if I don't have time to stay after, I come in during lunch or times like that. And so I really try to manage my time as much as I can and get as much done in school. But school always does come first, so if it does conflict, my coaches do understand.
I like that answer, academics first. But tell us, you're involved in a lot of other things, plays, and
Yes.
I understand you were just crowned Miss New Jersey. Give us a quickie
Yes.
on how that was about, that quick preparation.
Oh my gosh.
30 seconds worth, that's what the interviewer says.
Well, it was a lot of preparation. I had to practice all the time, and I would go to sleep at like 10 o'clock
What
or
will you
11.
be practicing? Walking?
I would,
or-
yeah.
Sorry.
I do. I have to practice the walk, the interview, how to answer the final question, working out all the time. I wake up at 5 in the morning every morning to work out. So that took up a lot of time, but I managed to make it work.
So last, I guess, silly question. You mean you practiced the answer after they crown you?
No, I practiced every possible question you could ever think
so
of
you
in
like
your head.
researched.
Ever.
You didn't know what the questions were.
Not at all.
Okay, not like me giving you guys the questions. Okay, good. Did you think high school sports would be so challenging? Who's going to take that one first? Did you think it was easier than you thought? What you anticipated, or is it a lot harder than you thought?
I'd say when I was little and going up to the high school to watch what seemed like men play on the same field that I do now, I thought they live like crazy lives, but I don't think I think a lot of people can manage it if they really put the work into it.
Yeah, I agree. You know, you just want to do it. It's your priority. I think what you're saying is you set your priorities, and I want to be part of the football team.
Exactly.
Julie, what do you think? Is it harder than you anticipated? More challenging?
No.
Really?
Because I think that I love playing the game, so whatever I can do to play, I will do. And I don't think that, yeah, it's challenging at times when you're staying up until 1 in the morning doing homework, but I like playing the game. So.
Right. No, I'm sorry I jumped over you guys. I didn't get to ask you, besides basketball and soccer, what other activities are you involved in as a high school student?
Well, I have a job at Scala's Bakery.
Okay.
And I do that on the weekends. And then I'm also involved in class council and National Honor Society. And I do a lot of community service for those and tutoring.
Wow, it's good to be busy.
I actually worked at the local Wawa in town, so spent a lot of time making sandwiches. And besides working and doing my sport, I enjoy going to the gym regardless of whether it's for
So you're into that workout nut all the time. Jackie, I know we talked a little bit at your pageant, but tell us about all those other activities you're involved in.
Well, I do obviously cheerleading and golf. I'm in the school musical every year. I'm vice president of National Honor Society, treasurer of the International Thespian Society, and a member of the Music Honor Society. And I'm a classically trained opera singer and I play piano.
Wow, I'd like to be able to play the piano.
It's nice.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I couldn't do it.
Now, all kinds of, you got multi-sport people. We got cheerleading, golf, acting, singing, but you just concentrated on football. When did you decide you just want to just play football, and what advice, let's answer that question. When did you decide you just want to concentrate on football? When you got cut from basketball, I guess?
I was never, after 8th grade season, I decided that I knew I wasn't one of the better players on the team, so I decided to just focus mostly on football, and I didn't even try out after that.
Mm-hmm. And what advice would you give to a young guy that's maybe playing 3 sports or 5 sports, or would you tell him to concentrate on one sport? Would you tell him to play? What advice do you have a young kid? He comes up to you after the game and says, I play football, baseball, basketball, but I'm not great in any of them. What advice would you give him?
I definitely say do whatever you enjoy doing. If you want to do all 3 your sports, you could put just as much time into one sport as you can 3 and have success in all of them, as long as you do all the school work and manage your time. Anything is really possible between different sports.
Jackie, what would you tell them?
I would tell them also to do whatever that gives them the most enjoyment, because if you really don't love a sport, you won't be able to do it. But I would also say that if they're willing to put in the time for all of their sports and give their all for both and not really just give half of their attention, they shouldn't spread themselves too thin. But if they can really do every single sport that they say that they want to, they should definitely go for it.
So Julia, someone walks up to you and says, boy, I don't know if I want to play basketball or soccer. I'm pretty good in each. But what should I do? What are you going to tell them?
Well, if they don't want to play it, I'm not going to say, oh, like, do something you don't want to do. But if they do, they're not sure which one to play, just try both out and see which one you like better. You can always come back the next year or not come back the next year.
That's good advice. How difficult is it to be a Division I athlete? I mean, you've experienced it. Obviously, it's golf, football, and soccer, basketball. What would you tell a person who thinks they're going to be a Division I basketball player and they're 5'8" or something? What would you tell them, Julie?
Are you talking about a girl or boy?
Oh, either one. You pick. Good question.
Well, if you want to play Division I, it's a lot of hard work. I was not that committed in either sport to go to showcasing. It's a lot of time to put into it, like getting recruited. And but if you want to do that, you would just have to focus on that one sport in most cases, unless you're like over the top and everything.
All right. Kevin, would you say that she's accurate with that? Anything different?
Yeah, I think it's just important to get your name out there between camps and showcases and all the possible extra league you can do. But it just you got to put everything you have into it. It's definitely possible for a lot of people, though.
And Division I athletes, don't forget that's a job.
Oh yeah,
that's a job. It's not 2 hours of practice a week. All you got to do is read what Rutgers goes through with their kids. You're all leaders on your team, or captains, or described as leaders by your coaches. Jackie, how would you describe your leadership style?
Well, I try to be as approachable as possible to anyone on the team, because there's a lot of questions between team members, and the worst is if you're not able to go to anybody. So I definitely try to be very approachable to everyone and give constructive criticism. I never want to hurt anyone's feelings. So I do give constructive criticism, but I don't ever put anyone down or make anyone feel upset.
Julia, what about you? What would be your leadership style? Well, by watching you play a lot of games, I see a lot of it. I see you is a lot, because I don't hear much, but by example. I mean, you're very tenacious in your approach. So that's the easy one to recognize. Do you have a different one? Is it?
Yeah, I would definitely say I try to lead by example on and off the court. And I like to make everyone feel like they're part of the team and just try and give everyone advice if they need it, if they come up to me and ask. And yeah,
okay.
basically.
Yeah, a little bit of both, because I know in football, when you think of the leader, it's someone who screams and yells and gets everyone pumped up for the game, but that's not really me. I'm kind of just lead by example and show that you just got to do your job and have everyone follow.
Well, I see you as an ideal leader on the field, and it was never more evident after you got hurt. Now you bounced back, and I've never heard you complain or use the elbow as an excuse or whatever.
Yeah.
I think to see the way you bounce back from that sets the tone for the rest of the team, in my opinion. Okay, now talking about coaches, what's your ideal coach like? This is for the young people who want to be coaches out there. What's your ideal coach like, Jackie?
My ideal coach is somebody, again, who is approachable and who you can talk to and voice your opinion. Also, somebody who definitely knows what they're doing and has had experience in the sport and knows how to push the team to as far as they can possibly go, but also just has the common goal of trying to push the team to the best that they can be.
Kevin, do you like a coach who's a hollerer or one of the ones that says, hey, this is what you got to do, and he leaves it on you to get it done?
I personally think someone who will just flat out scream at you is a better coach. That's how I always saw it, because if he screams right at you, you're not going to do it wrong the next time. So best way to learn.
Sometimes, right. Now you think Brady and Lane are similar in style, coaching, or different?
Well, it's different sports, so it's hard to compare. I like both of them as coaches.
They're both great coaches.
Yeah, they're both great. Lane and Brady, we both work on what we need to work on at practice to improve, and whether it's doing the same drill 100 times or
both of them.
Yeah, or running, it's what makes the team better.
Well, I just think they just know every practice is every minute, and they know exactly what they want to do.
They utilize everything.
Some coaches are a little more freelance on that, but they're all the time, but to the minute. Now we're talking about highlights. I'm going to ask you the highlight of your career, your season, or whatever. So I'm going to give you a minute or so. If you do two sports, we're going to ask you each sport. So we're going to start out with football first. What's been the highlight of your career or your season? Or
I'd say the highlight of my career would be my sophomore year. We had a game in North Brunswick, and I was starting at quarterback, and we really probably weren't supposed to win that game with a backup in, but somehow we got it done, and the bus ride home was probably the most fun bus ride I've ever been on.
Is that where they faked the punt or late in deep in their end zone, right?
Yeah, and we got pinned back, and then we had a long 8-minute drive to just run out the entire fourth quarter.
At their place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that game. Jackie?
The highlight of my cheerleading career would definitely be sophomore year. We almost had an undefeated competition season, which is amazing. And it was also the first year that we took home the beach national title. So that was the highlight of cheer. And the highlight of my golf career, well, the highlight of my golf season last year would be winning GMCs with the team. And the highlight of my golf career in general would be sophomore year when we took home the GMC title and the Central Jersey title. And I was the lowest scoring individual girl at the Central Jersey Golf Championship.
That's what clinched it, because you shot a very good game, from what I understand. Julie, two good sports, a lot of victories, some low spots, but a lot of victories.
Well, my highlight for basketball would definitely be when it was last season when we beat Piscataway.
Right.
They were undefeated and ranked #1 in the GMCs, and it was the night before the GMC seeding, and we won. We were the underdogs. And then for soccer, both years, winning GMCs would probably be the best moment.
Well, last year was overtime. Was the other year overtime too?
No.
No, last year was overtime. Okay, so we're starting to wind down, and I think I pretty much know what you want to be in 5 or 7 years. What do you want your legacy to be at East Brunswick? Julie wants to be, boy, when I get the ball in the corner, I'm shooting and it's going in. Just kidding. Just kidding. What do you want your legacy to be? these freshmen, these sophomore, eighth graders, what do you want them to say? Boy, I remember Julia because she
was a good shooter. I want my senior year to be a good basketball season. And for soccer, I want to just be known as the strong defender in the back.
Good. Kevin?
I'd like to set the example for anyone coming through the program now that for my commitment, really, because I think I've missed maybe 3 or 4 practices in my entire high school career. So I think being there is really important. I'd like everyone to remember that I was there as much as possible.
Did you ever play defense?
Yeah, I did in 8th and 9th grade. I started both ways, and then 10th grade I started my first game ever on varsity, actually at cornerback. So, and now I think I'm getting into a little defensive work.
Oh, good.
Right now.
Good. Yes, young lady?
I would love it if I was remembered as the person who utilized every single opportunity that was given. I do try to do as much as possible. And in the beginning of both seasons, cheerleading and golf, I was not the best as a freshman, and I really, really worked hard to try to be an asset to both teams. So I would definitely want to be remembered as a hard worker and someone who really tried to use every opportunity given.
Good. Now it's time for you to thank whoever you would wish on TV, tape, lasting memory. Would anyone like to give a shout out or thank you to anybody? Whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
I'd like to thank my parents because both of them have pushed me through any controversy I've had involving sports, and then again my teammates and all the coaches I've had, because it's experience I'll never forget in my entire life, and I wouldn't change a thing about it.
Good. Jackie, saving you for last, Julia.
I would like to thank both of my parents because they do support me and come to every single game or competition, and they always push me to be my best. And I would also like to thank all my teammates for making every single season amazing.
Good. Julia.
I'd also like to thank my parents and my 2 older brothers. And
That must have been fun.
yeah, teaching me.
Did they beat on you, Julie?
Oh yeah.
They did.
We used to play football outside all the time. But yeah, they taught me everything. My dad, he was a big role in my soccer and basketball career. And I just want to thank all my coaches I've had. They've taught me everything. And my teammates, my best friends, making the best seasons ever.
Wow. You know, I'm sure the other people, because I asked this question, the other kids have been on there, I don't ever remember them being so emphatic like you guys are about thanking the teammates. I think that's pretty good. I think that speaks volumes of the type of person you are, the type of leader you are, and why your teams are successful. So I wish you luck in the upcoming week. We got the GMCs in soccer.
Yeah.
We're close. We could make the playoffs. You never know in football. And you guys got a tournament this Sunday, defending GMC champs in cheerleading. So it's a pleasure with you guys. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and best of luck in your upcoming season and playoffs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.